The greatest quarterback-coach combo is officially separated, but the Brady and Belichick comparisons are sure to continue, everybody. According to Caesars, Bill Belichick, a 7-1 favorite to win Coach of the Year in 2020 without Brady. However, Brady's new coach, Bruce Arians, is third on the list at 12-1. Let's bring in Damien Woody. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings with the New England Patriots. Damien, it is always good to see you, sir. Max Kellerman, you're more of the expert, though, when it comes to all things Tom Brady and his ravine, as you refer to it now. So, Max, I'll begin with you here. Which duo do you trust more this season? Is it Belichick and Stidham or your boy Brady and Bruce Arians?
Belichick and Stidham. You have to understand, there were a lot of quarterbacks available that fit what you think of as the Patriot mold, like, quick read, quick release kind of guys. Teddy Bridgewater has some things in common with Brady and Garoppolo. Andy Dalton, not super accurate down the field, but intermediate passes, quick release, quick read, quick release kind of guys that you'd think would fit in with experience. Patriots didn't go that way. They didn't try and make any of that happen. They didn't even really kick the tires on that guy, according to reports. They believe in their guy Stidham. And yeah, he's not a brand name yet, but neither was Tom Brady when he took over as a 6th-round pick. Matt Castle won 10 out of those 11 wins that season, and he was not a sexy name. That's not what Belichick's interested in. Now, look, a lot of this stuff is perception. So the reason Belichick is favored to win Coach of the Year, that's not necessarily saying, oh, we think the Patriots have a better record than the Bucs. What they're saying is the perception is Belichick's not working with a lot. So if he wins 9-10 games, he might win Coach of the Year. The way Tomlin's in the running with 8 wins because he lost his he lost all the top skills position guys, and then his quarterback and his 2nd-string quarterback and his 3rd-string quarterback still didn't have a losing season. And I expect Belichick to do better than 8-8 this season. I think so do the odds makers. So does the public. When you talk about quarterback-coach combination, you have to isolate those 2 things and ask, what does that really mean? There's no Godwin. There's no Evans. There's no Gronk. There's no O.J. Howard or Brate. No, none of those. Stidham didn't have those guys, right? So he's not going to be asked to put up the same kind of numbers that Tom Brady is going to be asked to put up in Tampa. But what he will be asked to do, which is game manage, be big on 3rd down, rely on the defense, which was a great defense last season, and win games, I think he'll be able to do. And if Stidham, as a first-year starter with no real receiving weapons, winds up winning 9 or 10 games, is that better or worse as a combination than Brady and Arians winning 9 or 10 games, or even if it's 11 with that crew down there? I would say better.
Well, I'm certainly going to go with Coach Arians and Tom Brady. Number 1, the greatness of Tom Brady cannot be denied. Number 2, last time I checked, Bruce Arians was the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that had the number 3 ranked offense in terms of points, in terms of yards, and they had the number 1 passing attack in terms of yards last season with Jameis Winston, albeit his 30 interceptions took place. He also threw 33 touchdowns and threw for 5,109 yards. We can't ignore that. And then you got Tom Brady going there, so the interceptions are expected to cut down. You've got, again, Godwin and Evans and Brady and Howard and now Gronkowski. We can't ignore that. They've upgraded the offensive line with the draft pick of Worth, or whatever his name was, Worth, whatever the hell his name is. Okay, you moved up to get him. And then Worth, you moved up to get him in the draft. Let's also remember this, and I think people forget this. How did Bruce Arians ever become a head coach to begin with? If you recall, he was in India as the offensive coordinator. Chuck Pagano was battling cancer. As a result, Bruce Arians took over and coached the Indianapolis Colts to a 9-3 record with a young Andrew Luck completing just 54% of his passes. Before that, he was the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. People forget all of that. And so to me, Bruce Arians has a really solid resume as an offensive mind in the National Football League. And then you added Brady and Gronk to the mix too. I don't think there's any question that when it comes to a matter of trust on the offensive side of the ball, I would go with Brady and Arians over Belichick and Stidham, because Stidham's a novice. He's going to go through some growing pains. And oh, by the way, we know that Bill Belichick is a brilliant head coach, a leader, and a champion personified. But his resume primarily involves defense, and he's an overseer. Josh McDaniels has been your offensive coordinator. Charlie Weiss was your offensive coordinator. Bill O'Brien was your offensive coordinator. I think about all of those things, and to me, it's about Bruce Arians and Tom Brady. I would trust that duo more than I would trust Belichick and Stidham. Now, if you say Belichick and the defense, that would be different. But I'm talking offense. Belichick and Stidham versus Brady Arians. I'm going with Brady Arians.
Well, listen, I mean, to me, the question, this is an easy one. You know, the question is, who do you trust more? How can you trust somebody that hasn't played on the field? And I'm talking about Jarrett Stidham here. Okay, to me, this boils down to experience. Yes, Bill Belichick is the greatest head coach in the history of the National Football League, in my opinion. There's no disputing that. But if we're talking about who do you trust more, I trust the coach-quarterback combination with vast more experience. Tom Brady has played, 20 years in the National Football League. There's not a concept, there's not a play design, there's not anything that he hasn't seen. He hasn't been able to execute. So even with Tom Brady going down to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and having a different offense, they're going to adjust to what the strengths of Tom Brady's game is. Okay, Bruce Arians is that type of coach. He's coached a multitude of quarterbacks. Where you talk about Big Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, all guys with different skill sets, and he's going to have a guy in Tom Brady who's an older guy, but still a very productive quarterback. So I trust the quarterback-coach combination that I know that has a wealth of experience, that's seen it all, with the weapons that they have on that team at their disposal to go out there and execute at a high level.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.